Just next to him in P2 on the starting grid, and if anything from race 2 was to go by, Jake Gagne will hopefully be helping him a little bit to hold off the field. But it is all to race 4, wide open, especially with those first 3 in the championship. Superbike race 3, the final of the season.
Earlier today, a race broke out of this champ. Oh, no way! Down goes your championship points leader on the final lap. Bobby Fong down on this one. And now we have one final chance for all the marbles. One final chance to be crowned champion. Let's go. Into the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. It's our final race of 2025 at the MotoAmerica Superbike at New Jersey weekend for the Superbike category here at New Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville for race number 3. And what a storyline has unfolded here at the racetrack. Welcome everyone to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White, standing alongside two-time national champ Jason Pridmore. Jason, did you ever think we would be in a situation like this where we have 3 riders in the final race of the year after 19 races going down to this thing and only 13 points between all of them?
Well, we talk a lot about it. We would love to see like these kind of finishes every single season. The way it's happened today, Greg, has been pretty wild, though, as you see Bobby Fong and Josh Herron and Cam Beaubier, your main 3 title protagonists, all up in the front trying to win. This is just a heartbreaking thing for a lot of people, I think, seeing Bobby fall on the last lap going into turn 3C there, and you're going to see him bounce across this curb, and I'm just glad he's okay and lined up for this chance to still go out and win this championship. It's anybody's championship to win right now.
It certainly is, and Bobby was definitely animated after the race, and Josh Herron was like, I'm not really sure what had happened, but nonetheless, we hope that these last couple hours and things have calmed down. But for Josh Herron, what a win. So here is where we sit in this championship. Cameron Beaubier, 346 to 339 to 333. So that's 7 for Beaubier, and he's got 13 over Herron. It is crazy. But Cameron Beaubier and Josh Herron raced it up in the last one, and we had a sneak peek inside of the post-race press conference from race 2.
You know, honestly, that left-right, these guys click third, I stay in second there, so I am constantly like slower mid-corner speed than they are. He hit me earlier in the race in that same spot, I think. I felt something like the first time I went around him. So, I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue what happened. I just know that he was freaking out whenever I pulled. I stopped on the side of the track because he was already like going like this to me, and so I was just trying to figure out what happened, and he just kept saying, I'm going to effing kill you. So I don't know what happened, but you know, in my books, he's got a huge lead on us, and he's just being. I wouldn't have been up there with us. I mean, I wouldn't have been. I just would have cruised around in third, just knowing that that's all I had to do. You know, but all year I've been saying to my guys, like, you know, Cam's had unlucky races, I've had unlucky races, and he hasn't had any yet. So, you know, I was just kind of, you know, that's all we could do is just do our best and hope that everybody has their unlucky day. I'm glad that he's all right, but there was no ill intentions on my side, and I honestly still have no. All I can assume is he ran into the back of me. I don't know. So
that incident, to me, I didn't even see Josh in front of me because of the way when you flick it left to right, it's hard to see what really happened. But I think, man, I think it was just a racing incident. Sucks, man. It sucks for Bob. Bum for Bob. But man, you know, somehow we're back in the championship lead, and we got a race to go. So it should be interesting.
It's definitely an interesting situation as riders out on the grid, because for Cameron Beaubier, all he needs is really just to win or finish second, and he's got this thing wrapped up. Let's get to the third member of our broadcast team who's underneath the sunshine for this crazy race, Jamie Howe.
Hey, Greg, very similar conditions to what we had for the second race here this weekend just earlier today. And in the case of Josh Herron, by winning his 7th race of the season, he still has himself mathematically in line to be able to take home another championship here for you, Josh. But a lot of things have to play out. When you think about what you can control, where's your mind?
Just got to have fun, man. That's it. Just try to get a good start, put myself in a position where if something happens, you know, I can capitalize on it. And yeah, that's it. That's really all I can do, right? Just got to do my best and see what plays out.
It's been a long season, and it's all about keeping his head down and enjoying the moment. I'm going to move up to the head of the grid to our pole sitter. He was our championship leader coming in to the racing here this weekend. Of course, we've gone through everything that has unfolded over the course of the last few hours. And for Bobby Fong, he's been able to reflect. He's been able to calm himself down just a little bit. This number 50 Yamaha is put back together. And Bobby, for you, you have to win the race with Cam finishing at least third. Do you think about championship, or do you think about redemption?
Honestly, there's only one job I have to do, and that's just go out and win. Put the past behind us. It was a little bummer. I got my emotions best of me last race, but hey, it's all a part of racing, and but we live for this. So we're going to give it our all and hope for the best.
20 laps, that's all that's left. Greg?
Yeah, I like what I'm hearing from Bobby.
I
and
do
you know
too,
what,
man. That's class right there.
Yeah, 100%. And we're at the point, I think, now where, since MotoAmerica has become a thing 11 seasons ago, there's no argument that this is the best Superbike Championship we have seen coming down to the wire. But let's take a look at New Jersey Motorsports Park, because if Bobby wants to win, he's got to contend with this and the rest of his rivals here. So for Bobby Fong, 2.25 miles long, 4 left-handers and 8 right-handers. Opportunities to pass, we have seen many. Turn number 1 is a popular spot, especially with the draft and pass. But if it comes down to a last lap dash, it's going to be who is going to get the drive out of turn number 12 to the start-finish line. That is our overhead look. Here's a more intimate look with our Insta 360 track.
Right through our Insta 360, Greg. We're going to see that turn 12 in a minute. This is turn 1. We saw a lot of action down here. Saw some close racing on the exit of turn 1 all the way up here till turn 2. After you come out of 3C, where we saw that incident earlier, you go up over a wheelie bump into very fast and committed turn 4 into a hard braking turn 5. But this is that area, Greg, you were just talking about. You're going to go rolling through turn 10. Probably the slowest turn on the track, Greg. Get that bike pointed the direction you need to go. Come out of here in second. Get to third. Short shift it to fourth as you're wide open through here into that turn 12 you just talked about. Very fast, very committed. And, man, there can be so many things can happen on the way to that finish line.
As we definitely saw. Well, your championship points leader in the catbird seat, if he can have enough speed to put himself in second position or better, he's going to be your 6-time champion. Let's see what happens. Race start in 5 minutes.
MotoAmerica Superbikes is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series, and by NXT Bets. Play MotoAmerica for cash, multiple race classes, live on top sports books and DFS platforms all season long.
Welcome back to the MotoAmerica Live Plus coverage as we continue as we get ready for the third Superbike race of the weekend, the final race of the season. 3 riders up for the title. I liked what Bobby said. He let his emotions get the better of him at the end of that race. And I think every rider or athlete's been in that position before where the intensity is really high and they do something or say something at the end of the game or a race that they wish that they could have back. But for Bobby, this is his opportunity. He just has to go out and get a win. And he's rode so well. He just needs one more good race this weekend.
One more good race, and as mentioned, he does have more race wins than Cam Beaubier, so it is just 7 points, and that says it all. To crash out of a race and not score any points, but still be only 7 off the title, it just shows how consistent he's been all season. Cam Beaubier and Josh Herron, though I've talked about pedigree before with you, Roger, it does say a lot, and Josh Herron was saying in his press conference that if it was him, he wouldn't have pushed quite that hard, taken that kind of risk. And that's where pedigree and experience comes into it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think for Bobby, he just got in the race and he felt comfortable and, just made a mistake there. He could finish third in that race, but he still would have lost, 4 points to Beaubier, and that would have tightened it back up. He wins that race. He goes in to I'm sure now going back when he thinks and replays it in his head, he probably wishes he wouldn't have pushed so hard to try to make a move on the last lap. But that's what put Bobby in this position to be fighting for a title. And he said he's going to do exactly what he did all year, every race this weekend, and he's did that.
At the end of the day, though, to be 7 points off of the title and starting with pole position with your rivals on the second row and even further back behind that, P10, it's not a bad position to be starting in. Cam Beaubier seemed relaxing, calm, but I believe this Superbike Championship is still very much wide open.
Welcome back to New Jersey Motorsports Park as we get ready for race number 3 of the weekend. Hey, play MotoAmerica for cash. Superbike baggers and Supersport series are now live on top sportbooks and DFS platforms. Scan the flow code or visit nxtbets.com/playma to see what's available in your location. Sign up, claim exclusive bonuses, and make your picks now. All right, Jason Pridmore, I hate to take you back in time, but you've been in this situation before. You were third in a championship in 2002. Going into the last race of the year, and you actually won the championship. So you've been in the position that these 3 riders are in. Are there butterflies once you release the clutch, even on this warm-up lap?
The feeling you get when your team takes the tires off warmers on the grid and they leave you and you're just sitting there on your bike, there's a feeling that you get in your stomach, and when you get your warm-up lap started, Greg, it really just starts to dissipate. You start getting focused on what you do. Bobby Fong right now needs to focus. He can still win this championship. If at the beginning of the year you told Bobby Fong he was going to be coming to the final race in Jersey with an opportunity to win the Superbike Championship, he'd have been all in. So the thing is we have a tremendous fight getting ready to start here between 3 amazing young talents and men that we have here in a MotoAmerica Championship. As we get to look at our grid, there he is, Bobby Fong on front row with Gagne and Yates. Hayden Gillum, Cambobier coming from the second row with SDK there. Andrew Lee, Uribe, Escalante, Herron coming again from row 4. Benjamin Smith, hopefully we got Ben's back together with Flinders just outside him. Cornbow, Beach, Danilo Lewis, Campbell, Stouffer, and Waters are going to round out row number 6. Last row, Greg, we got Davis, Blackall, and Marquez. So right now, you heard Herron say, each one of us have had some bad luck this year. Everybody's had it. Unfortunately, Bobby's came at the wrong time, but he's not out of this. He can still win this championship. He's won races this year. He's done an amazing job. He's got arguably the best team in the paddock that has been down this path before experience-wise. They've built him another bike, and he's ready to go. And for that guy there, Cambobier, he's been in this position before, as has the number 1 plate of Josh Herron. So Herron's got to get his start. Bobier's got to finish second. That's all he's going to be trying to focus on, I'm sure.
So here we go. Don't forget to breathe in this one, folks. We got 20 laps to decide the MotoAmerica National Champion in Superbike. And away we go to turn number 1. Bobby Fong with a good launch. It looks like he's out front. Cameron Beaubier with a much better start than we've seen. In the first one, he's going to be leaning on, so he's not going to take the chance on Jake Gagne, but into third place goes Beaubier. And where is Josh Herron? That is the question. He is in 5th place. So Herron right there in the mix right now with clean racetrack in front of him. Bobby Fong trying to check out. Look at Gagne. What's Gagne? You think Gagne's just kind of trying to dictate the pace here?
No, I don't think so. I think that, for Jake, I honestly, being any one of the other riders in this race, it's really, really difficult. You don't want to get near the 3 guys that are battling out for this championship. You don't want to be the reason that one of these other guys gets taken out of a championship. For Bobby Fong, what a tremendous first half of a lap he has going here. He's got to try to get out front and get away. For Cambobier, he's in the spot he needs to be in. He needs to focus on second spot. Keep his eyes forward, though, and get away from the rest of the pack. Tremendous start again from SDK, running there in 4th. Herron 5th. Herron's going to use his knowledge, obviously, when he comes onto this front straightaway, get the best drive he can, try to get himself through on SDK, and then chip away.
What a physically demanding day it is for these riders. 40 laps at race pace. And Bobby Fong, probably the healthiest of them all. We don't know what happened to him, but we got to look at the number 1.
Beaubier did such a good job the last half of that lap, getting himself back right on the back wheel of the number 50 of Bobby Fong. So again, now they're line astern, Greg. There's 5-6 bikes with Gillum on the back of this. You saw that Josh Herron wasn't able to make any grounds on the riders in front of him that first lap down the front straightaway. Hayden Gillum there in 6th. Uribe, Yates, Escalante, Smith round out our top 10.
Look, I'm not trying to make an excuse for Josh Herron at all, but keep in mind that both Beaubier, just a couple weeks ago, Beaubier had the wrist injury right at home, and Herron, we know we've seen him limping around the paddock. I mean, the physical demands of this race weekend, pretty strenuous right now on all these riders, and so we're going to see really what this pace is. As we know, 23.2 so far, and it's Beaubier with the fastest lap of the race. But
that's from a standing start,
From a standing start, exactly.
Yes.
So, listen, they're capable of doing 20s without question, but we'll see how fast Bobby Fong wants to go especially with this sun shining and the heat in the track now. Yeah, it's a few hours later, and Jamie said it's relatively the same conditions, but the asphalt is a lot more heat soaked, so we expect this track to get a little greasy in the later stages of the race.
We'll see how that goes and who's going to play their cards the best. Gagne with a big run right now on Beaubier. I mean, Gagne went through that last corner, Greg, so fast.
Cam's going to go to the lead around the outside of Bobby Fong.
Yes, he is. He goes right by him, and I thought Gagne had the run. Cam had just as good a one, didn't he?
He did. 120.7 for Sean Dillon Kelly on the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki. That rider's in 4th place. So Beaubier now wants to dictate the pace to Bobby Fong. But this is the part of the section where Bobby has been so fast on the edge of the tire with his Yamaha. It's been impressive to watch the Attack Performance progressive rider. But Beaubier leading now, and Herron still right there. Probably just figuring some things out.
Yeah, we're only 2 laps in. Everybody, you got to let this race play out a little bit if you're up at the front. And I kind of like what Josh Herron's doing here, believe it or not. He's going to let these guys fight it out at the front for a few, let things sort out. I guarantee you, if he starts to see somebody pulling away, the number 1 is going to do everything he can to get himself up to the front. So, but Beaubier right now, this has got clean air out in front of him, and he's going to be watching his pit board. And the top 5 guys, top 6 guys have broken away from everybody else because Gillam's in there as well. He's going to want to try to see if they made any changes from race 1 today, race 2 overall for the weekend. As we look,
Fong up
Bobby
the inside.
Fong, what a move that is going into there. What commitment? What commitment?
And that's going to blow Beaubier's drive, and now he's going to have attacks coming from a Yamaha, a Suzuki, and a Ducati. So there goes Herron up the inside. He's going to go from 5th to 3rd, and with 32 had nowhere to go, and now Sean Dillon Kelly goes up the inside on Jake Gagne.
This is really the thing, though, Greg, is you just don't want to get in these guys' way, and it's not something that all these guys are going to go talking about, but there's an unwritten kind of rule of respect that you're going to have when you have 3 guys racing for the championship. Those guys behind, they want to go do the best they can for their team, but this is kind of what I would expect to see. These 3 guys at the front fighting it out amongst themselves.
So Herron has got into the position he wants to be in, which is some clear track in front of him to try to close the gap to Cameron Beaubier. Right now they go, what, 21.7, 21.4s, and Cameron Beaubier in Sector 2 just now set the fastest sector time of the race so far. Another look at what happened.
This is incredible. But see, this is what we've been talking about with Bobby Fong, straight lining stuff. He's going to come through here. This is going to be shifting up to 4th. Watch how he straightens his bike up. See that? So he's going to be basically beating Cam to the apex of that corner. It opens up a room for the other guys to go by. Herron has got a triple bike draft essentially, and he's going to make the pass on 2 of the 3 going down into turn 1 and slot himself in between Beaubier and Gagne. Gagne had a notion of going back up underneath, but it was Kelly who actually went back up underneath the Gagne as they come across the line again, Greg. 20.9, 20.8. So Bobby Fong and Beaubier both show that they can live in those high 20s.
Kelly with the fastest Sector 4 time of the race, the last part of the racetrack, to stick with Josh Herron. Just that small gap. No dramas for Herron at all right now. We know that he has speed. Looks like he's just trying to feel some things out. And Herron, look, he may be saving tire. He may be doing, he's just comfortably in 3rd right now and managing that gap to the front 2.
That's exactly right. And I think that, for Josh, he knows what he's got to do. He's got to get to the front, and he's got to win. And then he's got to hope that Bobby finishes 2nd. There's so many scenarios that could be played out here that you've just got to go out and just race your race. Do the best you can. Try to get as many points as you can, and then just see where it all falls out at the end of the day. But look at Bobby putting his head down at the moment, trying his best to get away from Cam Beaubier. The thing is, Greg, is that the faster Bobby goes, he's going to actually pull Cameron away from everybody. And if that is the case, that is the case. Bobby just is in this mode right now where it's like, let's just go try to win this race, and that's all he can do, isn't it?
Whatever goes on behind him has got to sort itself out, and then
Correct.
If he wins the championship, he wins it. But we talked about at the top of the show, Bobby Fong had scored points in every race so far this season. His worst result being 8 points, which is 8th place finish. And to have him do it in race number 2, just a heartbreaker for Bobby Fong, his team, his fans. But we're in the situation that we're in right now, and Fong continues to push the pace. However, Cameron Beaubier, Jason, 120.656.
Wow.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
That is fast, too. I mean, that 20.6, Greg, now we're getting into those mid-20s, not even high 20s anymore that we saw them running. Cameron Obviously, Bobby goes 20.7, 20.6. The thing is now is you got STK really pushing Josh Herrin back there on the Suzuki. You got to feel that for a moment, STK is going to sit there. And, you know, again, we've seen STK and Herrin race each other pretty hard this year. I really do think that STK will be respectful. But if those two guys start creeping away too much, he's already seen his teammate Richie Escalante on the podium today.
Certainly
STK
has.
would love to give that M4 team another bike that they can celebrate on the podium here this afternoon.
So 14.5 laps to go in Superbike race number 3, our final race of the season with this championship yet to be decided. And it is between the top 3, but right now Cameron Beaubier in a perfect position to win the championship. Last time Cameron Beaubier was Superbike champion, 2020. He started his run in 2015, did the number 6. Then he won it in 16. Won it again in 18, 19, and 20. So it has been 5 seasons for Cameron Beaubier, where Josh Herrin, of course, the number 1 plate, trying to defend. As for Bobby Fong, he's the only one in the top 3, the only one in the championship that hasn't won a Superbike championship here in MotoAmerica.
It just doesn't look right now like Josh has got that extra little bit of pace he needs to get up to the front with these guys. If they keep running sort of mid to high 20s, you know, are they going to wear their tires out, Greg? We just don't know. It is hotter than it's been the whole time, so we'll see how these tires start to play themselves out. And, you know, but right now the pace is hot up at the front, Jamie.
It is very similar to the pace that we saw at this stage of the race earlier today. And in the case of Bobby Fong, you know, we watched that contact and everything that happened. Well, the team, when they got the bike back over, they realized that there was going to be a lot of work to do to get it back to race ready. And while their spare bike got back up in the hauler wasn't completely ready to go, it was going to be easier to get that one race ready. And so that's exactly what they did. This bike that Bobby is on is not the same one that he's been on all weekend. Richard Stamboli, his crew chief, telling me they're pretty similar. He knows what he's doing. Setup's the same. So Bobby just has to put his head down and go.
That's exactly right, and that's what you got with that kind of crew, isn't it? I mean, they know how to get these bikes back together as quickly as they can, or yank the spare out, whichever they got to do. Richard's going to give him the best opportunity to go out and perform, and what you can see right now is, Greg, they're really starting to pull away. 20.8, 20.6. The next fastest guy on the racetrack was Hayden Gillum at a 20.9.
Yeah, so good for Hayden Gillum back there. But again, so many laps to go in this one that Herrin's put himself in a position where if something happens, if these two clatter together, run themselves off the racetrack or crash out, guess who's going to be a repeat on national champion? There's a good look at Hayden Gillum on that CBR 1000 RR-R SP, and no
it's Bobby,
way.
is it?
Is that Bobby Fong?
Man.
He crashed again. So for the number 50, he just handed it over to Josh Herrin or Cameron Beaubier.
Oh, it's just brutal. Such a bummer Sunday for Bobby Fong. That clip-on snapped off. They're not going to be able to get that bike going, Greg. And you can see there's some damage, obviously, on the side. This is going to be a low side in turn 5, holding on to the lever. He's going to be coming in here, and you're going to just see the front tuck. And now Cameron Beaubier, he's going to have plus almost 2 seconds on his board when he comes by, and Bobby's just beside himself. He's going to ride that bike back in with that left clip-on in his hands.
6 wins on the season for Bobby Fong, and the last 2 races of the season, 0 points for Fong. And that's going to change this from Bobby leading the championship coming into today to, if it ended this way right now, it would be a 32-point swing plus 40-point swing for Bobby Fong. So now the question is how comfortable is Cameron Beaubier, and what kind of pace does he have to maintain this lead? Jason, Cameron Beaubier has not led this championship since June 1st after race 2 at Road America. It's been 13 races since Cameron Beaubier has led this championship. And to be honest, we hadn't talked a ton about him in the championship for the last half of the season.
Well, the thing that we kept on talking about is how is Cam still in the championship? Like, he just seems like he's just been sitting there. And you look at him in the press conference today, he goes, he almost looked shocked when he said somehow we're in the championship points lead. Almost looked shocked. It has not been what a Cameron Beaubier year has looked like in the past. But here we are on the Tytler's BMW out front. And the thing is, Greg, is Herrin's still getting pushed by Sean Dillon Kelly, as you see Bobby Fong bringing his bike back into that attack team.
This is what I was talking about with Herrin, though, right? He may not have the bike right now to go the speed that he needed to be up front, but it's the patience. I'm going to put myself in a position just in case. You know, and that's why we've seen Herrin be so successful in his career. Josh Herrin, who has been at the top, and then all of a sudden he's down at the bottom. He comes back up to the top again and then doesn't have a job. I mean, he's an absolute scrapper his entire career in all of motorcycle road racing. And now,
well, look what happens here.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
Right?
Yeah, tell me.
The first split, he's gained 2/10 on Beaubier. So the psychology of this whole thing is now Cameron, he was probably comfortable just sitting there following Bobby around and just hanging out, seeing his board going from +1 to +2. All of a sudden, that carrot's gone. Gives you a lot of time to think about a lot of things, Greg. But the one thing is, Cameron's got to keep the pedal down because Herrin now, totally remotivated. Now he sees Beaubier up there by himself.
It's not Herrin I'm worried about, because if Herrin reels him in and passes Beaubier, Beaubier still only has to finish second to Herrin and he'll wrap this championship. My eyes are on the number 40 and the number 69.
100%. And I was going to get there, believe it or not, because it's not like Herrin's got 3 or 4 seconds behind him where Cam can just sit in there. He's got SDK. He's got Gillum. You don't think Gillum wants to put that Honda on the podium before the end of the season?
Of course he does.
He's already seen his teammate JD Beach do it. There's a great look at Hayden Gillum right now. So he is continuing to pull forward. He goes 20.9. All the guys in second, third, and fourth all went 20.9 to Beaubier's 21.1. Yeah, it's only 2/10, you say. But if you keep seeing that gap coming down, and Beaubier, more importantly, sees that gap keep coming down, that's when the pressure starts getting big again.
Just want a quick shout out to just behind Jake Gagne in 5th place is Jason Uribe on that Orange Cat racing machine. That's a BMW. That's a stock 1000 motor with a swing arm and some triple clamps. What a run they have put together. Jason Uribe and his team. Good to see them in a top 6 position. Jamie?
Well, we stick with Jason Uribe for just a second. I talked to that whole team earlier today, and they said that they really tried to keep the setups pretty much the same. They didn't have a lot of room to be able to work with, but they feel really comfortable being out here in the Superbike category and looking ahead to the 2026 championship season with Stock 1000 class being absorbed out here in the Superbike grid. Lots of good things to come, but I want to go to Cameron Beaubier. Just checked in with the team a moment ago, and one of the things that they didn't comment on is the fact that in that race earlier today, Cam was complaining about traction control settings just a little bit, and that was really the only adjustment that they've made to get him out here ready for this final attempt at going for another Superbike championship.
Well, he stretched it out for a moment. He had 1 second, 1.1 seconds. It was 1.3, so it's going back and forth by about 2 or 3 tenths the last couple of laps. So Beaubier, it feels like right now he's doing a good job of managing this lead. But Jay, it's about that psychology. It's been 5 years for Cameron Beaubier since he won a championship, and now, like you're saying, you know, the only thing that's really going to keep him focused is that pit board at this time because he's pushing his own air.
Right. It's a process, and you're processing all the time, and it probably took him a couple of laps or a lap and a half or so to think, Bobby's gone. What do I do? Okay, he's been in this position, Greg. He's done this before. He knows what he's got to do. I also said, I think that this year, arguably, he would tell you that he hasn't been the most comfortable he's ever been, and he's had some incidents happen that have put question marks in his brain. So now it's just him, and he realizes that he's just got to try to get these next 14 laps or 9 laps now. But when it had happened, it was about 12, 13 laps to go. He had to just put those laps together. He's starting to do that again. 21 flat that last time by. Keep in mind, 20.6 was his fastest lap of the race. So for right now, Beaubier's just got to keep pounding out these laps. Look at his board, as you can see it there up on the thing. +1. Let's see what it is this time he comes by. It stayed the exact same, basically. He went 20.9 to Herrin's 21.0. So basically the same lap times.
So this is where Cameron Beaubier needs to be a machine. Just click off the laps, hit the marks, get the good braking markers as well, especially for him just finding himself in this situation. What a Sunday for Cameron Beaubier. Incredible. Jay, still at the tip top of his game, and what a rebound in his life. After winning 5 championships, off to Moto2 in the MotoGP series, and let's just put it as frankly as you possibly can. It was not 2 good years for Cameron Beaubier.
Wasn't a great experience, I don't think,
Wasn't a great experience, and the fact that you can park that in your brain after 2 seasons of traveling abroad to all those MotoGP races, you come back to the States and you just keep building and building and building. And for Cameron Beaubier to put himself in a position that he's in right now is a testament to him as a rider, his level of maturity, as well as the team. this Tytler Cycles BMW, they've been at it for a while.
Yep.
This would be incredible payoff for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Tytlers, you know, they made a big commitment to get back to come to our paddock a few years back and to bring Cameron Beaubier into the fray. And now to hopefully, you know, for that team, for him to see the fruition of that payoff. But man, as long as that number 1 plate's there, he's still the defending champ. Herron's going to keep digging, Greg. 21 flat again, but 20.8 for Beaubier. Beaubier is back into living in those high 20s. We just don't know, like, how much risk is that for Cam to be doing high 20s? You know, that's the biggest thing. But he wants to just continue to pound out these laps, put the pressure on these guys. And what a ride from Sean Dillon Kelly. SDK just sitting there in the wake right now of that Ducati, running in third. We've talked about that M4 team a lot this year, Greg. We've seen them on the podium. They continue to work hard and do magic with that Suzuki GSX-R 1000, the aging Suzuki GSX-R 1000. But look what they've done. SDK has gone through.
Oh, there you go.
SDK has gone through. I thought maybe in the background that Josh had run a little bit wide. So I'll be interested to see if that's what happened. Because I thought I saw something that looked a little different in the background there. I don't know if SDK was close enough to just stuff it up the inside of Herron. But here you go. Now SDK is taking to that, and Gillum's getting closer.
All right, with under 7 laps to go, if you're just joining us in Superbike race number 3 for the final of the season, Cameron Beaubier is out front now by 2.1 seconds over Sean Dillon Kelly and Josh Herron. This is a championship battle. It was Bobby Fong who led coming into today. He crashed in race number 2, our first race of the day, and he crashes again. And that puts Cameron Beaubier in the catbird seat. Josh Herron also racing for a championship, but the scenario is, Jason, if Josh Herron can reel in Cameron Beaubier and win this race, Beaubier needs to finish 4th or better, and he'll win the championship.
Yeah, so he's looking pretty solid right now for that, absolutely. Hayden Gillum now is on the back of those other 2, by the way. You're going to see 3 riders come up over the top of that hill.
Sure do.
And you can see Hayden Gillum is locked in. Gillum, who I would say hasn't had the greatest of luck at times, seeing him slide off yesterday right off the bat was pretty discouraging. But this guy, we've seen him on stock 1000 bikes around here winning races. We've seen him on baggers around here winning races. Now he wants to try to get himself up on the Superbike podium. And I think, Greg, here we go. So we're going to have a look here and see what ended up happening. It is just going to be SDK went down the inside of Josh Herron in turn 5. So he opened up that door a little bit, and SDK didn't even think twice about it. And immediately, though, he was passed back. And now Gillum is close enough to maybe try to draft these guys down the straight. But Greg, back to my point, I think that if you'd have said that Hayden hadn't finished on the podium this year, by now, I probably would have bet against that. So I really, really respect Hayden a lot as a rider, and we'll see if he can get this job done now.
Super talented is the 69 on that hybrid CBR 1000R-R SP2. The number 69 of Hayden Gillum out of Owensboro, Kentucky on that real steel Honda. Trying to put that thing on the podium. That would be a shot in the arm, too, for American Honda as they look towards the future here in MotoAmerica. So all these riders, Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki, Warhorse HSBK Racing Ducati, everybody wanting some results in our final race of the year. So it's stabilized out now at 2.4 to 2.6 seconds. So Beaubier, it's got a little bit of time in his hands to play with as we have less than 5 laps to go in this one. And Herron now trying to hold off the advances of 2 riders. And of course, he's got a good run onto the front straightaway, and there is a lot of power in that Ducati. Boy, it looked for a second there when he just, like, I thought for like, my heart stopped for a second. I thought he had to tuck the front.
It's a tough one there, Greg, because when you roll off the throttle, you're rolling off the throttle, grabbing a downshift or a back shift there, and you're squeezing on the brake lever. And there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of energy getting transferred to that front tire through there. So that's kind of what you saw as Beaubier clicks off another 21 flat. Look at that group chasing. How about Jason Uribe back there has moved himself up into 5th. He's ahead of Gagne and Escalante. What a ride from Jason Uribe. I love this. Orange Cat Racing decides after COTA to come here to Jersey with a couple kind of semi-super bikes, and they're doing an amazing job right now. Uribe has gone 20.9 in this race and moved himself in the top 5.
Triple clamps added to that motorcycle, as well as a whoopsie-doo shock and swing arm. They're all from BMW, and Orange Cat putting together a great program. Oh, and side by side goes STK. So he's going to have an advantage. Nice clean racing between those two. All the while, Hayden Gillum's going, I got you guys.
You can see Josh is frustrated. He's frustrated by the fact that Sean's going through on him. But you got to remember, Greg, he's 3 seconds behind now. It's not like a thing that he's right on the back of Beaubier. I really do believe if he was right on the back of him, STK probably wouldn't do that. But STK, I feel he thinks he has some pace. All through here last time, he was right up behind the back of Herrin. Herrin's probably going to be able to draft him here again.
He's so good right now, like
so
to the front straightaway.
Well,
Herrin gets his good
so
runs.
Good. He gets that bike turn in turn 10. Herrin gets that thing turned so well. And let's see again. Here they come on to the front straightaway.
So Beaubier goes by with 3 to go in this one. And Sean Dylan Kelly comes across the stripe ahead, but Herrin draft and pass.
Well, these two have had some history. So, you know, at this stage, Beaubier is gone, right? I mean, would you accept a 3 second lead with 3 laps to go?
And plus, now they're mucking about. So at this point, they're not helping their speed, these 3.
No, I agree. And then Hayden Gillum's sitting there just waiting for it. And, you know, as a rider, you know who's got riffs with who and this and that. And STK's close again. But Herrin kind of closes off the inside of 5 there.
I will say, though, in terms of a result for Division Wheel M4X Star Suzuki team, that last time by, Sean Dylan Kelly was able to hold off Herrin to the line by 0.094 seconds. So if that was a dress rehearsal and STK can get by Herrin one more time, the possibility of Sean being able to put the thing second on the podium is pretty high.
Absolutely, and I think that, you know, right now, really, you have to resolve yourself to the idea, if you're Josh Herrin, that the only way you're going to win the championship now is if something was to happen to Cam, obviously. Beaubier's got a 3 second plus lead now with 2 laps to go. So now it's just going to be a matter of, it's a little bit of gloves are off. And, you know, the guys in second and third and fourth right now, they want to do the best they can for their team also.
Now, these 3 are racing each other, so it's occupying their time. It's entertaining for them as well, and I'm sure that time is going by, Jay. But you've been in a position in your career where you are out front on the last 2 laps, possibly winning a championship. If you're Cameron Beaubier, how difficult is it for him or you at the time to be able to stay focused and centered?
The hardest part, I think, for me was just the middle part of the race. Once you kind of get through those, there's like 2 or 3 laps in the middle part of the race, Greg, where you kind of got to get your thoughts and regather them at times. And I think now Cam is completely focused on the job at hand. He knows that he doesn't have to go out and do high 20s to win this race when he had a 3 second lead with 3 to go. In fact, just looking at the time now, he went 21.6 the last time by. So right now, Beaubier is going to be feeling very, very comfortable. Now's the time when you start hearing commentators and things say about the bike, and you're listening for everything.
The bings and the bangs and the tings and the...
Your focus is straight ahead. Your focus is, okay, I've put in this whole year. I've got 1 lap left to go when I go by. I've got to just bring this thing home, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that lap will be in the mid-21s or even a low 22 for the last lap for Cameron Beaubier. And there's no sweeter way to win a championship than to do it by winning it up in the front. And that's exactly what Beaubier is trying to do right now to try to win this championship.
He's given up a second, 0.3 to Josh Herrin behind him on this final lap. The white flag flies for Cameron Beaubier. His future is in his hands. The Tytler Cycle BMW rider. He has not had it easy the last couple seasons. He's been banged up more than he ever has in his career. He's had to come back from some big injuries, has Cameron Beaubier. But now, with just over half a track to go here at New Jersey, Cameron Beaubier on the cusp of his 6th MotoAmerica Superbike Championship, but racing still going on between STK and Josh Herrin, and Josh Herrin gets moved out of the way and gives up 2 positions.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, going back to the Cam Beaubier story, as you see Hayden Gillum slide his way into 3rd, sometimes the mental part of the thing does more damage than the actual physical. So we've seen Cam have injuries, but the mental side of it, of just not understanding what some of the tip-offs have been about, could be more difficult to get over. Even talking with him this morning, that was something that was brought up. Now, let's see what happens in this battle for 2nd and 3rd as Cam Beaubier is on his way, Greg. 2 corners to go. Bring him home.
Here he goes, Cameron Beaubier, Tytler Cycles BMW. He's going to go through the final corner, squeezes the gas, on his way to his 6th national championship, and he gets it done with a win. In 2nd place, Sean Dylan Kelly and Hayden Gillum. So So BMW, Suzuki, and Honda on the final podium of the 2025 season here in MotoAmerica Superbike competition. And he wasn't on the lips of many just a couple races ago, but they grinded out, and what an effort from this team. And boy, what a fight, the Warhorse Ducati team, and it looks like it's Ashton Yates down on the last lap.
Man.
But tip of the cap to the Warhorse HSBK Racing Ducati team. Cameron Beaubier, your national champion, his 6th in MotoAmerica competition. We started MotoAmerica in 2015. He won it then. He doubled up in 16. Tony Elias took it away from him in 2017. He won it again 18, 19, 20, and then off to Europe he went. He came back. It's been a bit of a rocky road, but Cameron Beaubier, the Californian under the sunshine of New Jersey, takes home the national championship.
Man, unbelievable, Greg. What a job from this number 6. He's getting the respect from everybody, and rightfully so.
We are going to talk to him on the other side of this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We return to Millville after this.
Wow, what a way to finish the season. Cam Beaubier winning the race and the championship. 6th title for Cam Beaubier. We really wasn't even talking about him that much in championship form as the season started to wind down, but man, he just shows you why he had those 5 titles and then why he is a 6-time champion now. The way he came in this weekend, took the 2nd place. And then you go back to what happened on Friday. He said it was his worst Friday of maybe his career. And we're going to go back and look at that Friday for him, and left Friday with a lot of questions. This is through turn 4. You're going to see just a weird crash. Front end goes out from under him. There he goes down. See the bike goes for a little bit of a ride. And then that afternoon, 2nd qualifying again. It doesn't even look like he's pushing that hard. Trail breaks the front end. Down he goes again. You're going to see his hands kind of go up because he doesn't know what is going on. And he's able to bounce back, be in a deficit going in to the Superbike Championship and come out on top.
Indeed, and there is something in the mentality of that when you have one crash and then another one so soon after, which we saw from Cam earlier in the weekend, but he was able to recover and to just get more comfortable on this track and on this bike as the weekend went on. But then we did see 2 crashes from Bobby Fong, which speaks to that kind of mental side of things, that it can really shake you up a bit once you've had that tumble, especially at that speed. And sad to see Bobby Fong coming out of the championship in that way. But 6 championship titles for Cam Beaubier. If he wasn't a legend already, that is legendary status. And riding in, speaking to him on the grid before the start of the race, he was so calm. It almost seemed like he wasn't thinking about that 6th championship. Didn't necessarily expect to see himself in that position. And don't forget, he started on the 2nd row.
And you can see, even though this is his 6th title, what it still means to him. He's had a rough couple years with the injuries and things going on, and went to Europe, coming back. It's been a long time since he won a title. And he almost, when you look at his body language, it almost looks like he's in disbelief that he was able to come in here and win the title. Great sportsmanship from Josh Herron there. Josh did a great job. If you go back and look at that 2nd race at Mid-Ohio with a couple laps to go, Josh got into it with the lapper and lost a lot of points, but he was the champion.
Oh, head down. And as I said, he didn't seem necessarily like he was fully believing he was going to do this when he spoke to him at the start of the race. So look at that team around him. All joy. He has done it. Your 6-time Superbike champion, Cam Beaubier. And what a way to do it. That pedigree showing you that the race ain't over until it's over. Hugs there galore with his crew.
Awesome for Hayden Gillum, too, on the Real Steel Honda team, getting his first podium. They already got JD Beach on the podium earlier in the year. That is awesome to see. He's been putting in a ton of work this season, qualifying really well and able to turn that into a podium, and a good hard-fought podium at that. And Sean Dylan Kelly, last lap, would not be denied for the 2nd place.
Indeed. What a battle Josh Herron had with Sean Dylan Kelly. It's going to be interesting to see Josh's thoughts on that if we get the chance to hear from him. But Sean Dylan Kelly did get the better of that battle, and then Hayden Gillum taking his first podium in Superbike. We're going to see Hayden in King of the Baggers shortly. Hopefully he has enough time to recover for that. But great to see Sean. He was on the podium around this time last year as well. So Sean taking another podium in Superbike, showing his progression in this class. And it's sometimes really fun to see different names on the podium, especially giving that momentum going into the off-season. It means that it's all to come in 2026 as we have more riders in Superbike. Cam Beaubier, though, he's your 2025 champion.
Welcome back to New Jersey Motorsports Park on a MotoAmerica Superbikes at New Jersey weekend. And congratulations, a class act from Josh Herron, congratulating the new #1 plate of Cameron Beaubier. We don't have any idea where he's going to land next year, but somehow I feel like he's going to stay here.
He might be okay.
And defend on what with who, we don't know, but this is what we do know. Unofficial results have Beaubier over Sean Dylan Kelly and Hayden Gillum, your podium. Let's get right down to Jamie, who has our new champ.
Cameron Beaubier now wearing the #1, and Ken Salant, racing manager for the AMA, will present for the 6th time in Cam's career the Superbike #1 plate. His 6th win of the season, 71st Superbike win of his career. Cameron Beaubier, you came into the weekend thinking that this was going to be a long shot. 3 races were on the table, but you kept your head down, did exactly what you needed to do. How do you put this one into words?
I don't even know what to say right now. I just want to give a massive thank you to the Tytlers guys, BMW, Michael Kiley for just putting this whole program together. It's man, I did not think this was we were even gonna have a chance of this happening after Friday, picking myself up 2 times out of the grass. So massive thank you to those guys. Man, it's been a war all season. We started out really strong and then had a couple crashes, couple mistakes, and but we never stopped trying. We never stopped fighting, and man, those guys have worked so hard. I've worked so hard, you know, all year and this weekend. So just, man, I can't even believe it, honestly. Shout out to Brody and Shelby at home. They couldn't make it this weekend, but I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. And my parents and family for coming out. It's man, it's a very special day. Yeah, and also too, I just want to give I know Bob had a crash there halfway through the race or so, but I just want to give a hats off to him because he rode incredible all year. He's been so fast. It's so impressive, and same with Josh.
Congratulations.
Yeah, what can you say about this one, man? Cameron Beaubier.
For Sean Dylan Kelly, able to finish on the podium here. You could see how hard you were working out there. The team continuing to work all day long as well to go with the conditions, give you a bike that you could fight with. The point that you made there going to the checkered flag, what are you going to take into the offseason?
Oh, man, this is exactly how I wanted to finish. I felt really, really strong this weekend. I felt strong yesterday. I felt strong earlier today, and we just couldn't make it happen. We couldn't make the podium happen, but this last one was all or nothing, and I think it showed out on track. I gave it my all, and I'm so excited to be finishing on the podium. It's been a really challenging year, but we never gave up. All my guys, thank you so much to my whole crew, to the whole Vision Wheel M4XR Suzuki. Thank you guys so much for all the hard work, and seriously, my guys, my crew, they were amazing. They really made this all happen, and yeah, I'm pumped to be on the podium. Fans here are fucking amazing. Sorry, damn it, I'm gonna have to pay for that, but yeah, I'm just super pumped to finish on the podium. Really excited to how we did this year, and obviously thank you to all my sponsors. I wouldn't be here without 1-3 CJ Knows and Palm Beach Police and Fire Foundation. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for me.
Congratulations to SDK, another podium result. And for Hayden Gillum, he's fought all season long. Best result prior to today was 4th, and you were finally able in the final race of the year to bring home a podium for yourself and for the Honda whole team. What do you take into the offseason now?
Oh, this is just, it's really cool. This is my first Superbike podium. So all year we've been working on this bike and slowly getting more consistent with it. And this last 3-4 rounds, we've been up in the mix time-wise, and I've been losing out on my starts all year. And finally, today, I was able to get a couple good ones and get up in there. And man, I don't know. I just can't thank the whole Real Steel Honda, Southern Power Sports, Pro Honda Oils, Progressive, American Honda. It's really cool to be up here. I can't thank the guys enough. Yeah, and then congrats to Cameron on the championship. He rode really well, and you know it sucks for Bobby that he went down like that, but I got a little lucky.
Take it any day. Congratulations.
Now he put himself in the position to take advantage of whatever happens on the racetrack. He got it done. This guy is your new national champion, and our coverage from New Jersey Motorsports Park will continue when we get back to Millville.
As we continue to cover the podium here in the Superbike class, I liked what Hayden Gillum had to say there. What a ride by him. He said it was kind of gifted, but he put himself in that position, and you got to be there to finish, and that's what counts. For Hayden, he's got to get ready for the bagger race. It's up next, so he's got a busy couple minutes, but it's all about this guy right here, Cam Beaubier. 6th title for him. Unbelievable career that he's had, and it looks like he's just getting going. And also for the Tytler Cycle BMW team, they put a lot into this Superbike Championship for the last couple years. It's great to see them come out and that team after Friday, and it just shows you never know what can happen, and you never give up. And Beaubier never gave up, and he came out on top. And you got to feel for Bobby Fong. He went out fighting. Unfortunate what happened for him today, but he's going to come back next year, and he's going to be in contention again, and he's going to be in that situation. He's going to know what he needs to do. Won't make that mistake again as Hayden's mechanic takes the 3rd place trophy. For him, unfortunately, Hayden gets his chance to get on the podium, and he's got to go get ready for the bagger race. But Sean Dillon Kelly, phenomenal ride for Sean there. Was really aggressive on that last lap, and that's what you have to do in a Superbike class, especially at a small track like this that's really hard to pass on, and Sean was able to make it happen, and maybe he's got some momentum going into the off season. See Cam Beaubier, this is what you dream about right here, standing on top of the podium, able to get that title with the #1 plate right there. A lot of work went into this. Go back to Road America, Beaubier had a huge crash. You go back to the last year at Road America, Beaubier breaks his heel, leading the championship, put him out for a couple races, came back and just couldn't make it happen. And this year he comes back and he fights through adversity. Last couple rounds, we know he's been hurt as well at a bicycle crash, but he's able to hang in there and tough it out, and it's just great to see for Beaubier. He's just a heck of a rider, man. He's tough to beat. He works hard. He comes out on top. He knows what he has to do. He takes the risk when he needs to, and he takes those points when he doesn't have it. And today, Beaubier showed why he was the champion. And I want to give credit to Jason Uribe, their top 5 on the BMW in their first Superbike weekend. That is an incredible finish for that Orange Cat BMW racing team. They should be really proud of that performance and something they can build on as they make their jump to Superbike class next season. Also for the Suzuki team, having both riders on the podium today with Richie Escalante. It's a great day for that whole team. They got Tyler Scott on the podium in the Super Sport race as well.
MotoAmerica Superbikes is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series, and by NXT Bets. Play MotoAmerica for cash, multiple race classes, live on top sports books and DFS platforms all season long.
2025 in Superbike have Beaubier, 371 over Josh Herron, 346. Bobby Fong ends up in 3rd, Gagne 4th, and SDK in 5th. Let's get down to Jamie, who has our newly crowned national champion.
For Cameron Beaubier, he's been able to celebrate the podium, and it is his 6th AMA MotoAmerica Superbike Championship. But it's going to be the first time that you get to work with Tom Duma of Fine Jewelers of Ohio to design a custom championship ring just for you. The catalogs have been floating around the paddock. Have you given any thought to what you're going to put into your championship ring?
Lots of diamonds, hopefully. But no, I saw they did that the last couple years, and man, that's definitely a little extra motivation to get that title. But yeah, thanks to them for doing that. That's so awesome. Man, I just honestly can't believe what just happened.
Can't put it into words. Exactly, Greg.
Yeah, and the number 6 turns his championship total into 6 in the Superbike category. We have more from New Jersey Motorsports Park when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back as we wrap up our Superbike coverage there, and you could kind of see it on Beaubier's expression. Was not expecting to get that title, but they still had the jersey ready to go just in case for him. So just a great year by Cam. It's a whole team effort when you come out and win the title. It takes the rider, the team, Tyler Cycle, all those guys that put that team together do a great job. They work really hard, and they deserve that #1 plate. This is going to be a season in the Superbike class that we're not going to forget for a long time, since we had so many guys going for the title going into the last race, one of the tightest championships I think we've ever had. As we see here, this is the end of the year podium right there. You see Josh Herron there. He's going to end up second in the points after what happened to Bobby Fong. Beaubier there obviously going to be on top step there, getting a little more hardware, winning that title this year. He's got his crew chief up there with him. Not sure where Bobby's at. Not sure if he's hurt or whatever, but he hasn't been able to make that podium. But for Bobby, for him, just incredible year for him. It's something he can build on. He's going to be so disappointed. You got to feel bad for him. That's kind of part of racing, and you know, you say that, but it doesn't make it feel any better for the rider. Josh, great year for him. He mentioned it this week. He had a couple bad races, and that was the big thing toward the end of the season. They had a couple rough rounds at VR, and then you go to Mid-Ohio, race 2. Didn't really work out for him as well, and that was a big dent into his championship. And Beaubier, Mid-Ohio, also ran off the track toward the end, lost a lot of points as well, but they were able to claw back this weekend and keep that pressure on Bobby, and now he's going to raise up another #1 plate for Cam Beaubier. Can hear the crowd down at the podium going wild. Huge crowd here this weekend. All the riders have talked about it all weekend. Look at those trophies. Crew Chief Award, Team Award. Everybody, there's Beaubier's mom and dad there. It's great to see them here this weekend. They're great supporters of Cam and great people on top of that. Get to come here and see their son win his 6th Superbike title. Now Dunlop gives him the guitar. That's one of the coolest trophies you can get right there from Dunlop, with the #1 on it as a trophy. He's going to get a ring. He's going to get a guitar. He's going to get another really big trophy. Cam Beaubier is going to have to build him a little bit bigger trophy room after this year. And Herron's going to come back swinging next year. And you got to think what you're seeing now of Hayden Gillum and his team. They can come back a little stronger next year. They learned a lot. Their first year in their full season in the Superbike as a Tyler Cycle crew is all going to come up onto the podium and celebrate this championship.
Welcome back here to MotoAmerica Superbikes at New Jersey weekend. Our final round of the season and our final race for the Superbike class in the books. And what a season it has been. Coming down to this final race of the year. Pretty impressive. That's going to do it for us for the 2025 season. Can't wait to see Cameron Beaubier defend his #1 plate in 2026. Make sure you check out MotoAmerica.com for all the latest information on the silly season and what's coming up in 2026. Thanks for watching. For our entire crew, I'm Greg. For Jason and Jamie, thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next year.
We transition from the Superbike last race of the season as we go to the King of the Baggers.